here this morning.
There you go. All of you are with us this morning. Well, that's good. We want to get into a couple of topics. Good morning to all of you. I don't know who wants to go first, but obviously the question that has to lead off every discussion is, here we are in the shadow of COVID, and how's Indiana County doing with it? There are a number of different areas that we could go in this conversation. So who wants to lead off with me this morning?
Well, actually, as you know, that Indiana County is right now throughout the Commonwealth is being ranked second highest throughout the Commonwealth. So definitely is a concern to all of us. At this point, we're really not sure or cannot pinpoint to any one thing that actually put those numbers of where they're at. But the fact is we're here dealing with it. And again, it gets back out to everybody doing their part, following the guidelines to bring us back to where we need to be.
Yeah, that's obviously the big concern for everyone is how can we curb this thing? And you hear all the guidelines and you wonder if people are adhering to them. But we're hearing of folks who are getting sick, and the word anyway always comes in after it. So Mike, in terms of county services, are there any curtailments or is there any news of what the county is able to do?
Commissioner Gorman, you want to speak to that?
Todd, can you ask that again so I understand what you're asking?
Just wondering if there are any curtailments of services, if there are any restrictions that are in place because of the pandemic from a county standpoint?
Yeah. As Commissioner Keith indicated, the entire county is just continuing due diligence. There's obviously a great deal of stress everywhere in feeling as though we've gone back to March in their minds, and they don't want to be under a shutdown. So I think in that regard, we're hearing from our businesses, our county services across are truly doing their part and really gearing or bearing down on, the diligence of wearing their masks, distancing, limiting service. The courthouse last week, commissioners met with the president judge, and we decided to limit service again to do our part because obviously the courthouse and their offices have small spaces, so we didn't want to put people at risk. We are open for business, but we ask people call first. We ask that they do anything that they need to have done by telephone and or computer electronic access. But we don't want to send a message that we've closed down, in essence. We are still open for business.
Somebody asked me when I talked with the commissioners if I could ask about places like visitation at the Indiana County Jail. I'm pretty sure that people who have family members who are inmates there have a pretty good idea of what the restrictions are and whether or not they can go. But just for the general public's knowledge, places such as that where people are incarcerated or other places where the county does business, I'm sure you've made a special effort to reach out to people to say, here's what you can and cannot do.
Sure. Our warden and the courts work together on making sure that everybody is well aware of what they can and cannot do. Safety is the highest priority. We know that prisons and jails around the state, that's, if they have an outbreak, it's very serious. We are very fortunate in Indiana County that hasn't happened yet, and hopefully we will keep it at that level. But I think our take-home message is we really want our schools and our businesses and our institutions to be open and stay open, and we want people to be healthy. I mean, it's a very dangerous virus, and we believe that can happen if people work together and wear the masks and wash their hands and stay distance and just really, really work at it. I've seen a lot more people doing it myself. I'm pleased about that, but we do have a ways to go, and then it's going to take a while. This is not going away.
Yeah, one of the things.
I see positive things happening. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I'm becoming more and more convinced of is that as masks are certainly called for, I think the thing that most will protect us is distancing, is staying away from others, because it seems like the virus finds a way, even if you're wearing a mask, to get at you. So that physical distancing is probably one of the more important aspects of it all, and just avoiding those types of gatherings. And from a county standpoint, I know that that is certainly the case. Staying away is certainly going to help to mitigate everything going on. Meanwhile, the commissioners and everybody else have to get about their daily business, and you folks are working on budgets and doing other things as we approach a very busy season, aren't you?
That's for sure. Actually, speaking of budget, we will be finalizing, wrapping up ours today to actually announce tomorrow at the commissioners' meeting. It was a very, very difficult budget. We knew going into the first of the year, and with COVID striking us, it just became even more difficult. We've done a lot of different things. We basically scraped the bottom of the pan to actually make this budget of what we're going to announce tomorrow really happen. And again, we were faced with a lot of challenges, and I think really, truly, when it comes down to it, we have done our best for the residents of the county.
Yeah, it has to be awfully difficult. Revenue streams sometimes are more reliably reported than in others, and I would guess that it's really, really hard to figure out what's coming in. But meanwhile, the expenses, those still go on.
Yeah, you definitely know your expenses do continue to grow. And again, your revenues, you don't know until, you get down to that last wire. And again, the revenues that the county have lost, we're not going to see them again. So we've done a lot of things to make this budget work.
All right, so let's I'm sorry, go ahead, Shireen.
Go ahead.
You still have to deliver services, so regardless of the revenue. So we are going to get very creative and rely on our department heads and people to really work hard at that.
Absolutely. All right, so I just want to throw it open to you, all three of you. I'm sure there are things that you'd like the public to know about things you're working on or items that they need to know. So who wants to take the lead here?
Well, I want to circle back to COVID, Todd, just
Okay.
because, it's everybody. It's your resident on the outlying right into, central businesses and whatnot. Obviously, Thanksgiving holiday is upon us. You were talking about distancing, and that's another stress on people because they, we've heard the term COVID fatigue, and I see it on everybody. People are just so tired, and their energy is just sapped. And so, again, it is this, I know it's the hardest time. It's a holiday time, but with the spiking and the, Indiana County having a rate of 13% sitting there today, that's enormous. We don't know why, other than we do know a lot of people are getting tested and they don't know they have it. So there's where your point in, they go home to their family, they don't even know they have it, and they're spreading and possibly to someone at high risk, and all of a sudden somebody does get positive, and then they realize maybe everybody has it. So we're just asking people, I know how tired they are, but our county should hold their heads with pride through this entire thing since the beginning. And we just need to keep, we need to persevere through this.
Yeah, absolutely. Well put. Anybody else want to weigh in with items of interest this morning?
Well, we're kind of winding down this year and looking forward to the next year. And another big challenge for us in the county is back to the Regional Greenhouse Gas Initiative that's still continuing.
Mm-hmm.
We actually spoke about it this morning with Representative Struzzi. We're laying out what's coming up as far as the hearings go, and planning on what we're needed to present as far as the comment period. But again, that's really huge to the employment sector and the energy sector of Indiana County is what we're facing.
Yeah, it's a biggie. We're hearing about some developments that could be happening at some of our industrial parks, and it's good news when you find a new tenant who's going to bring some jobs to Indiana County. But obviously, we've got a lot of employment concerns, and that Reggie list is right there at the top of it, isn't it?
Most certainly is.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we've got a minute left in the segment. Anybody else have anything they need to share?
Well, I want to assure the public, too. I mean, we're all here together. We met as the Center of Economic Operations this morning with our broader partners in the county. And, Todd, even through our budget, we are all working with an eye on our future, knowing the serious concerns forward, not knowing, we don't have a crystal ball about this virus, but as you indicated, the jobs, what new industries are possible, how do we get back up and running, how do we attract, I don't want to think anyone out there to think that we're so consumed with this virus and everything else right now that our eye isn't on our future and what we need to do to get in front of things like Reggie for our residents, not be behind it. So we are all working very hard in a way that, people might not be seeing, but we do not forget what our job is.
Yeah, we continue to make the investments in our education and training opportunities and manufacturing and the healthcare industry and even in agriculture, getting a biodigester to be built in Indiana County. So it's simultaneous. You keep looking to the future while you try to address the challenges in the present.
Very good.
And actually, something positive is that there are actually some good things that's coming in the future that we're hoping to announce. But believe me, it's positive, good things for the county.
Well, that's good to know. Absolutely, and maybe as the coming weeks approach, we'll be able to get some better news. Appreciate your visit this morning. I know that it was a little difficult getting on the air, but Mr. Zoom got it all straightened out. Commissioners, thank you so much.
Thank you, Todd. Have a good day.
All right, you too. It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160. Obviously, we went a little bit long on this segment, and so we'll go right to the newsroom in just a moment.